LAT Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
Alrighty, welcome back everybody here to Simtrax Broadcasting. This is Patrick Morrison coming to you live here from Bristol Motor Speedway as we take a look, and hopefully Chris Bassinger does get going here, and Bill Harkins as well. I think they're currently sitting down in the pits getting ready to go here at this fine track. Many drivers have found a lot of success here on the concrete. A lot have gone home mad. This track can definitely change one's tone through the rest of the season, the way guys get bashed around out here. A little bit of wall riding we've seen, and even drivers dive bombing each other, trying to kill each other through each and every turn. One of the drivers who's had plenty of success here, and even some downfalls at this same track is Jackson Knock, who's joining me here tonight, normally in the 00, but right now we are seeing him in the booth with me for the remainder here of the season. Jackson, we've got guys out here side by side tonight. We've got guys really battling out there, especially speed-wise when we're talking qualifying times that we've got the top 10 in almost less than a tenth of a second here. It's going to be some rough racing right here at the beginning.
Yeah, Bristol always separates a lot of drivers. Half the field really loves it, and half the field usually hates it. Definitely very difficult to stay off each other. Such a tight track, lots of speed, high banked corners. Not a lot of room for mistakes the majority of the race, especially with this next-gen car. We're going to see these cars throwing it into the corner. I don't think they'll bottom out, but either way, they get real loose on entry and real loose on exit. So definitely going to see a lot of troubles here today at Bristol.
Love-hate relationship for a real driver out there of Denny Hamlin. He actually made one of the complaints here at Bristol that some people did not expect out there. His actual complaint was that it was actually the G-forces to the car with these next-gen cars was causing an issue of guys almost passing out around the turns. And it was the last thing I want is some guy pushing it into the turn at about 160 miles an hour and losing consciousness out there, which is extremely difficult. But hopefully that does not happen here tonight, as guys are already doing a few things like complaining about force feedback. I know some guys are saying the shoulders are hurting a little bit. Some of them are saying, oh my gosh, I've only done 60 laps here during practice and my arms are on fire. With 155 laps here tonight, that is going to be extremely tough, and I can't wait to see if these guys are going to stick with that recommended force feedback that iRacing has recommended out there. I do say if the more realistic it is, I think we're going to get a more realistic result. Guys driving out there on controllers, but that should be nor here nor there. Look at Jackson Duke out there in the 08. I notice he is starting to load up into the pits here as they are getting currently ready for their drivers' meeting. But unfortunately, during the drivers' meeting, and fortunately, we'll have the opportunity to have a shot at talking to one of our drivers out here in the number 97 car, and I'm looking to see where he is out there. If he is in the box, yes, he is. All right, let's go ahead and grab him here. Looking for the number 97 car of Eddie Haggy. Eddie, you got a copy on me here, buddy?
Yeah, I got y'all.
All right, man. Well, rough race here. We're looking tonight. Guys are going to be trying to really push around the track, and I see you are sponsoring this race here tonight. Talk to me a little bit about it.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. I love Bristol. I'm running this race in honor of my grandma. She passed away a month ago, Suzanne Kearns. She's a lovely woman. Taught me so much about how to just be a good human being and always encouraged me in my sports and even my racing. So hopefully I can go out and try to get a win for her. I mean, Bristol's been a pretty good track. We've come close a few times, but it really kind of comes down to being on the right end of strategy and then restarting on the top, in those last few restarts towards the end of the race and just being in the right spot.
All right, awesome, man. I can't wait to see. I even see grandma's even on the car, man. I'm pretty excited to see that, and I'm hoping you do get a win here tonight. So we'll talk a little bit about what some win strategies could be out there and kind of how to really come away with a win at Bristol. Some guys say it's qualifying position. Others say it's waited out for the first few cautions. Where does Eddie Haggy say, and what do we need to do?
I think it depends where you start. Where I'm starting, I think you try to keep the track position. If you're starting further in the back, maybe you take it easy, try to save. But, I mean, if there's a wreck, it's going to block the entire track, and that's a concern with track position. And I think everyone is going to be super loose on exit. The bumps, the car doesn't handle the bumps really well, and you're going to see people bust their butt, probably on their own. So it'll be a wild race, and the winner is going to have to be very impressive.
Each turn through turn 1 and 2 and turn 3 and 4, this track is not symmetrical. Does it feel like most of the drivers have figured that out yet?
I think so, yeah. A lot of ovals are, you feel like it's just, a turn and then another turn. But you definitely can keep more in the throttle. With 3 and 4, it's a little bit of a faster turn, but the wall kind of sneaks up on you. It's tricky. I think the biggest thing will just be like, you race really close here, and guys on the bottom have to use every inch of the track. And there are going to be times when the guys on the bottom pinch a guy on the top, and the guy on the top pinches on the bottom, and you just have to be really mindful of people around you.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And when you were talking mindfulness as well, and we're talking cautions, guys have got to know when to stop. There's not a whole lot of escape routes here, and I would say I have been able to personally escape more wrecks at a short track than I was at a super speedway, because it seems to collect everybody at a super speedway. But at a short track, you've got to be pretty quick. Your reaction time's got to be there. But if you're not going to make it, stop the car. It's guys trying to pile drive through, to me, are the ones that cause the most problems out here.
Yeah, I think so. And then definitely there's a difference between guys who really charge the corner and guys who don't. People running each other over. It's going to be interesting for sure.
All right, well, we kind of have a few things out there. Who is going to be really one of your biggest contenders out there? I noticed Brett Guzik is not going to be a driver out there on the track tonight. I see, Cody Welch, he's been kind of MIA here for quite some time. But I'd say a driver like Curtis Yancey is going to be looking real strong here tonight. How do we overcome this guy?
Yeah, Curtis is aggressive. I mean, if he can finish the race, he's going to be up there. If I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but he's aggressive and he's fast too, and good short track racer. He won a couple times on Bristol Dirt, I believe. Well, I mean, I feel good that Jackson's not here, Brett's not here, Cody's not here. Ben Lacey's very good at Bristol. Marshall had a blistering pole lap. I think a lot of guys can be competitive. This next gen car is so different, and Jackson knows this, than all the other cars we've raced. It's hard for me to really go back to other Bristol races because this won't be anything like it.
Yeah, no kidding. And talk about the other guys not being able to be here. I mean, it's a difficult race, and I am concerned. The biggest thing is, yes, you guys got a faster pair. There's an extra set of tires sitting down in pits. Is this really going to be the make or break of the race, whether guys take tires or not?
I think it depends. Yeah, I mean, we had a situation last year where Jackson and Brett had new tires towards the end of the race, but a guy like myself or Ethan Sikorsky almost won the race staying out. Both of us crashed. But I mean, it's always that question of like, hey, you're the leader. Do you stay out? Is it too many laps? Are you gonna have enough cautions to let you to let the tires not be that big of an advantage? This track is all about like situational awareness, and you really can't plan for the race. You just gotta have a strategy and imagine it as it goes.
All right, man. Well, we'll go ahead and let you get to the last end here of the drivers' meeting. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs while I got you here, and I'm hoping this isn't going to bring you the commentator's curse here, because I hope we talk to you here at the end.
Oh, I hope so. Well, I mean, obviously, want to honor my grandma tonight. So racing for her, always racing for my family companies, Magothy HR Consulting and EP Wealth Advisors. Love to represent them. I just love to race. I love to be a part of this league, and always grateful for my parents, my friends, my girlfriend, and the Lord for making it possible to race and hopefully go out and get a good result. And I haven't been running that great this season, Patrick. I want to get another win.
All right. Yeah, I think you're due. I think I've said it the past couple of broadcasts here. Something tells me that 97 is due for the win, and I think something's going to be I'm hoping it's only yourself that's going to be holding you back from this one. Good luck to you out there, buddy.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, man, Jackson, did you hear that? He said he was going to talk to us soon. That's it. I'm going to get that as his call out. He's calling.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, but Brett Guzik was the winner here last year. Granted, that was in the 87 car, so very different from here, but still a symmetrical car, much like the next gen. Probably close to the same, throttle off the corner. Definitely not the same entrance speed, but throttle off probably fairly similar. So another loose car. Gonna be new here today. Brett Guzik's out of it. Obviously, I'm not there. I'm always good at Bristol for some reason. I'm a big fan of Slinger Speedway. I live around there, and so Bristol is just like that. But I expect to see Eddie up front, Marshall Crocker Jr. up front, especially. Really fast pull lap from him. So definitely going to be an exciting race on the concrete.
Yeah, I would say even being in the lead is probably your best bet here. And definitely a safe assumption that there is a good chance that you will have a strong finish. Unlike Christopher Herrera there. 913 just took a quick bite out of the wall there. That was a hard hit. He'll be heading to the backup car, and we'll hopefully see him kind of straighten it up there a little bit. All right, about another 45 seconds here in the warm-up, so let's go ahead and take a look at what this race is going to consist of here at the Magothy Consulting 150. 155 laps are going to be run here tonight with a 70% fuel limit. I said earlier that we would have an extra set of tires. They will. 4 down there in the pit and only 1 faster pair. I'll be your lead producer here tonight with Jackson Knock. Dalton Kilrow will be hanging out there in the race control. And I was expecting, honestly, here, Jackson, this to be a much hotter track. Seeing only 80 degrees is what we're looking at here at Bristol.
Yeah, 80 degrees plus nighttime. Definitely going to be a little bit more grip out there than these drivers are used to. Yeah, I think definitely going to see the high side come in. Usually at Bristol, when it's a little bit cooler, that high side tends to work just a little bit more. I'm not sure what lane they were qualifying on, but I definitely think we're going to see a lot of lanes used, not just the bottom, not just the top. I think it's going to be real good.
All right, we'll definitely take a look at it here. Somebody out there saying that we're having a little bit of a hiccup out there. I think as well we have got to go to the backup computer here for the broadcast, so we've got a few things chunking out there, and hopefully we'll be able to get this thing squared up just a little bit. I think I may have something fighting in the background. I did have some trouble out there with Trading Paints. I don't know if you had anything like that out there, Jackson, but I know Trading Paints gave me some trouble here I had to re-download and get that all squared away, but hopefully we get these guys all good to go. Obviously giving you the guys the best that we can here, so let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here for tonight, where Marshall Crocker and Mark Allen Bivens will be starting on that front row. Curtis Yancey, yep, called it there. He'll be sitting third with Eddie Hagge in fourth. Benjamin Lacey will be our fifth-place driver next to David Lakey. Great start for Lakey. I would love to see him not barge back, though. That seems to be his MO, was rolling backwards at the very beginning. Ethan Sikorsky will be sitting seventh next to Bill Harkins. Keegan Clark in ninth next to Connor Gibson. All right, 31 has got to show up and be strong here tonight. Matt Crockett sits in 11th, and Nick Nickerson is 12th. Moving on.
Christopher Fiera in 13th, Mark Galloway in 14th, Christopher Bassinger in 15th, Jackson Duke in 16th, 17th is Victor Weaver on his outside, and 18th is Hunter Musselwhite. 19th is Michael R. Ramos. 20th is Joshua McQuiggan. He's going to be very fast. He must have had some issues in his qualifying lap. 21st is John Osborne. He's a fast driver as well. 22nd is Bob Berry. Rounding out your field in 23rd is Terry Condis.
Terry Condis looking for a quick side kick to the throat. He seems to go ahead and get a qualifying time, but does not get behind the wheel here unless he decides he wants to start from pit to maybe give himself a harder run here tonight, which is going to be extremely rough for him. Let's see what we can do here as we get these guys ready to go. I'm excited to see how this goes. I don't know about you, but something tells me Perfect Shine Auto Spa is going to get plenty of shout-outs tonight. But I do want to shout out LAT Racing Oils for bringing you our starting race information and our starting grid here for tonight. Big move here for Marshall Crocker. I guarantee you he's going to be looking for a win. He was talking down about himself earlier in practice that he doesn't have a chance, but I highly doubt that. With that 78 car looking strong up front, this is going to be the race for him to lose. He'll be starting on the inside in the 78. The 76 of Mark Allen Bivens, our points leader out front. Here we go.
Green flag is out as they head into turns number 1 and 2. He's going to clear by a bit, almost by an entire corner. Now side by side behind him between Bivens and Yancey. Yancey's really fast when the tires are fresh, but on a track like this that's real loose out of the corners, usually tends to wear up those rear tires. Possibly see Mark Allen Bivens and Eddie Hagge get around him in the long run.
Yeah, Yancey already making a move up, right up to the second spot. Hagge watching the fight happen just before him. I think he's possibly thinking about waiting this one out before anything happens early in this run. Do not want to make mistakes so early with fresh tires. I'm going back here where I noticed a couple of drivers like Clark nudging the wall here a couple of times out there in that 74 machine, and I'm noticing some couple in the back. We've already got a driver coming down pit road. Well, I don't know what happened. Marshall Crocker heading down pit.
The leader. Don't see any damage on that car.
All right, it looks like a quick pit here from Marshall Crocker. Don't know if that's... Okay. All right, guys. I got somebody watching out here from the sign. I see Robin Allen out there. Yeah, I see Jackson's out there. Yeah, I see you trying to fix it, buddy. We're going to see if we can hack it here on our side and see what's going on. I just want to make sure you guys can see it here. I do see on YouTube we are chunking pretty bad. I would not be happy. Let's, while I've got a chance, I do want to take a look here and see if we can see what happened during our caution flag. Jackson, you got a line on it here from 13.
Yeah, a little bit of contact between the 13 and Christopher Bassinger. That's, I believe the 13 is Christopher Fiera.
Yep.
Yeah, it goes around on entry to turn number 3. Came a little bit down. I believe they met more in the middle. But Christopher Bassinger to the corner panel of Christopher Fiera. Sent around. That was the cause of the caution. Bassinger being sent to the back. He's going to get a black flag. Couple cars down pit road. Fiera is one of them. We did see Marshall Crocker Jr. go down pit road as well. That's Bob Berry in pit road. Joshua McQuiggan also down pit road. Yeah, Yancey currently our leader. Bivens going to be starting on his outside. I'm guessing that Yancey is going to take the bottom. The bottom seems to be what is prevailing so far, but when you're side by side, it seems to equal out. If Yancey can get a good jump. Oh, Yancey started on the top. I was completely wrong. Yancey's going to start on the top. He's going to go for a good jump. Lots of tire marks there on the top lane. I wouldn't be surprised if they were running it a lot during practice. Put in a groove up there. Might see it really come into play. Lights on the pace car are out. I believe we're going to be going green this time. Heading down the back, or heading down out of turn number 4. He's going to blink. Mark-Allen Bivens is gone. Green flag is out. Yancey leads us back into turns number 1 and 2. Lakey's right behind him. Single file. Big gap for the lead. Nobody in his rear view. Lakey trying to run that high side, but just can't quite make it work. Yes, he can. Right in the middle, the car behind him running a little bit higher. Everyone seems to be running higher the farther back it goes. But Curtis Yancey just running on that bottom side, getting away from David Lakey and Eddie Hagge. Both running different lanes. Yancey's just running the bottom faster than both of them. Side by side for second now between Eddie Hagge and David Lakey. Hagge on the high side, Lakey on the bottom. Hagge got to his outside in the middle of a corner and is just able to stick there. Eddie Hagge is going to clear. David Lakey just keeps on filing back as everyone seems to get around him on that high side. Sikorsky, the 7 car of Lacey. Even, Bill Harkins trying to get around him on the high side. Bill Harkins passing Nick Nickerson. Usually a really very fast car out there, especially at Bristol, but seems to be lagging behind just a little bit. Might be saving his stuff. Bill Harkins heavy into the outside wall. Going to keep it under himself. Still side by side between them. The majority of the cars that got around David Lakey on that high side have now gone back down to the bottom. But Bill Harkins just trying to stick it out on the high side. Still can't quite clear Nick, but he wants it. Might get to the corner panel of David Lakey one of these corners if he gets a good enough turn on exit. Doesn't quite seem to be able to do it. He's going to clear though. Single filed out now. Stays high. Mark-Allen Bivens getting around Connor Gibson on the high side. That's going to be for 8th. Mark looks low on Bill Harkins. Now up to 7th goes Mark-Allen Bivens. Not going to be able to clear out of turn number 4. A little bit of contact on the front straightaway. Trying to make it work. You got to think about who's using more tire. Of course, that bottom lane has a tighter corner, so using those front tires a little bit more, but on that high side with this concrete surface, you're going faster, which means you're shredding those tires just a little bit more. Connor Gibson now getting around Bill Harkins on the high side. Just cannot seem to make any lane work. He was running the high side for a while, got past a bunch. Now down to the bottom, getting passed by Connor Gibson around the high side. He's going to clear. Connor Gibson up to 8th. Curtis Yancey still your leader and pulling away. Caution comes out. Second caution of the night. Curtis Yancey your leader. Eddie Hagge in 2nd. Lacey in 3rd. Yeah, after Mark-Allen Bivens blinked out, he went all the way back down to 10th. Made his way back up to 7th. Trying to see what he can do. So Marshall Crocker Jr. was your pole sitter. He is now 3 laps down. Still not quite sure what happened to him on the start. He went down pit road. No damage. Hunter Musselwhite also 3 laps down. Looking at Keegan Clark now. Going through out of turn 2. Oh, there goes Christopher Fiera. Second time tonight in an incident. Went around on the back stretch. I'm guessing he got a little loose out of turn number 2. Slid it down to the inside, then came back up in front of Keegan. Keegan going to be able to avoid him down the back straightaway. On the bottom side, car goes down in front of him. Yeah. Little loose out of turn 2. Had a car right on his bumper, taking all the air off his spoiler, and one car going down in front of him and also taking all the air off the front of his car. Just about negative downforce, I'd say. Went around. But not too much damage at all. No harm, no foul. Yeah, most of the field has not pit yet. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple takers down this time by. That car doesn't seem to have a hood. Never mind. Yes, it does. Might see a couple takers down this time by. If I believe we're getting into the lap 30s, into the 30s. I can't quite remember what lap it was, but we're getting double file. I didn't really see any takers. It's going to be Curtis Yancey and Eddie Haggy. Eddie Haggy on the bottom. Curtis Yancey taking the high side once again. Wants to get a good jump. Worked real well last time with Mark Allen Bivens blinking up, and now he has... oh, that's not Eddie Haggy on the inside. I'm not sure entirely who that is. Never mind, it is Eddie Haggy. Green flag is back out waving once again. And yeah, Curtis Yancey's going to be able to get that great jump. Sikorsky up to second. Sikorsky's always been really good here every time we've gone to Bristol. When it's asphalt, at least. He almost had the win last time we were here in the 87s. He spun out of the final corner on just a couple laps to go, but he's looking to avenge himself as well as his previous finishes. But Sikorsky very fast at Bristol. Just got to keep it clean. Sikorsky also losing on Yancey. No matter who's in second, Yancey just seems to pull away. Third caution of the night comes out. Will it be Christopher Fiera for a third time? The camera went to him just for a moment, but I'm not sure if that means it was him. But we'll see in the replay. Well, I'll see in the replay. Keegan Clark riding with him once again. Oh, the car in front of him gets on the wall. I'm not sure who that is. It might be Musselwhite. I believe that's Musselwhite. Got involved with, yeah, that's Hunter Musselwhite. Got loose out of the corner, hit the wall, got involved, hit Marshall Crocker Jr. Keegan Clark going to be able to get around it. Not too much damage just yet. Once again, we are at a short track. Obviously, downforce matters a lot here at Bristol with such high banks as we're throwing it in the corners. So, you know, you're going to want a little bit of front bumper to it, but you know, a little bit of contact, a little bit of crinkling of the corner panels and the fenders isn't really going to do too much here at Bristol. You'll still have a fighting chance. So, not the end of the world for most of these drivers. That last caution, I believe Musselwhite or Crocker Jr. got the lucky dog. He's now only 2 laps down. He was involved in this caution, so there's a chance he might not be getting his lucky dog because he had contact. Not a rule in our league, but just a rule in iRacing. If you have any contact whatsoever during a crash, if you are a lap down, if you were going to be the lucky dog, you don't get the lucky dog, even if it's a 0x. So definitely got to stay very careful when you are in a lucky dog position. A bit of damage to that front bumper of Marshall Crocker Jr. Not sure if he has his fast repair or not. He did come down the first couple laps. We didn't see exactly what happened to him still, but possibly had some damage, possibly used his fast repair there. So, we'll see what he's got. Will he come down? Hopefully it's not the end of the night for Marshall Crocker Jr. Getting double file once again. Curtis Yancey goes high. Sikorsky goes low. David Lakey right behind Curtis Yancey. And Eddie Hagee in third. Victor Weaver is still in. He's in 13th place. He's looking to make his way into the top 10. He's got a top 15 so far. He's been pretty clean. Gonna go green this time out of turn number 4. Great jump once again for Curtis Yancey. Just no one can keep up with that jump with such short gear ratios, as well as the fact that it's 5 gears. You can get a real good jump if your tires will let you. No one else is really able to time it as well, unless they know what you're thinking. And Curtis Yancey continues to pull away. No one can keep up with him. You got to think about his tires. Are his tires being worn? Is everyone else just taking it easy? Ethan Sikorsky wanting to put up a bid for the lead, but just can't quite make it there. He is gaining off-corner exit, though. Will it be enough? He was 0.57 the last time by, 0.55 away from him. Ethan Sikorsky with the speed. A little loose out of that corner. He's going to lose it. Now down to 0.60. Lacey going for third place now on the bumper of David Lakey. He looks inside. Lakey also looks inside. Close side-by-side contact out of turn number 4. David Lakey sideways. He's going to be able to save it. Almost got sent around by the front, off the front bumper of Benjamin Lacey. David Lakey now in the hornet's nest. Everyone side by side trying to get around each other. It's been pretty easy there in that front few cars. But now back in the pack, having lots of issues. But going to settle down. His tires are going to cool off just a little bit. Just got to get back in the groove. Lacey now making his way towards Sikorsky. He's a little bit faster, but it's going to take a while for him to get there. Lap 42, not sure how long fuel is going to last. I would guess probably about 60 to 70 laps before they'll have to pit for fuel. But the real question is tires. A lot of these concrete tracks, especially in these next-gen cars with the wide tires and low tire walls, eventually they just start to even out. They don't wear and wear and wear until they're unbearable. They wear to a certain point and then they start to even out. So even on people, or even with people with slightly newer tires, like we've seen a couple people pit, eventually later in the run will be just about the same speed as the leaders, even if they got 2 new tires 10 to 20 laps later. So definitely expect to see Yancey stay up front later in the run if he's able to just keep this ground. Not quite worrying about that tire wear. David Lakey and Christopher Basker now look going at it. Christopher wants that inside lane. Can't quite make it there that time. David Lakey really making sure nobody can make it there. Here comes Connor Gibson to both their outsides, trying to make that work.
I think we got her here, buddy. Sorry, guys. We had to see if we can square that thing away. I've been fighting it here on the other side. Woo! All right. Go on, Jackson. Take it on, buddy. We got another caution out. Looks like Mark Galloway may be in the middle of this one. And then I see another yellow flag as guys are rushing off pit road.
Well, 4th caution of the night. I would start commentating, but I can't see anything.
Dude, the woes continue, but we will continue. I'm going to do my best here, buddy. We'll see if we can get it. This also helped me to find out if it's still broken, that when I go to this, if we start chunking again, I'm hoping that is not going to be the case. So caution does come out for the 4th time here tonight. We kind of hover around the Markel and Bivens area. Spidey sense is telling me we are much farther back than that, and I'm hoping we are not looking at Chris Vieira again. Woo! Now Vieira's been bumping and crashing into everybody here tonight. Would like to give a quick shout out here to Perfect Shine Auto Spot for hanging in there here tonight as these guys have been bashing and banging the doors. Awesome job, Jackson, while I fight it here in the background, man. This has been absolutely mind-blowing. We are working hard here on this side. Looks like pit road did get awfully busy there during lap number 58, where Yancey, Haggy, Lacey, and Bivens are going to be starting 1 through 4. Patsy Steele, I'm glad you guys have been hanging in there. That's why I was trying to text you guys through the chat out there to see if we could give you guys the best of what the heck was going on, and we got a lot of things happening on this end. So already, check out that camera view here of Benjamin Lacey in the number 7 Ford. Filming the wild car is going to be watching that pace car pull on off, but he has got definitely a couple of cars here in front of him, and I would definitely be circling that 76 Chevrolet in front of him. That's going to be the one that's going to want to cut down on him and definitely get away. All right, Matt Bailey, yeah, here we go. We're going ahead and getting it away. I think he's shouting you out there, Jackson, as we get ready to get this one back underway, and green flag back.
Green flag is back out waving here once again. Curtis Yancey starting on that high side once again, as he seems to be doing every single time. I think they all have fresh tires, so we'll see it play out a lot. With Bivens and Eddie hanging side by side. Oh, Eddie moves out of turn number 4. Going to be able to collect it. He's going to lose 2 positions. Christopher Baskinger going to look on his outside. He's going to take it away from him. His tires are hot. Now he's going to block Nick Nickerson on the high side. Going to slow down 3 cars there. Nick making his way up through the field, started near the back, now up to 5th.
Yeah, very, very tough race here for Curtis Yancey. He hasn't seemed to really been challenged too much for the lead. Eddie Haggy is falling down, unfortunately, back. Big mover here of the race is going to go to Chris Bassinger, who's currently sitting in 3rd. Number 1 car has been getting bumped around out there. We saw Chris Vieira out there. Up. But Victor Weaver currently sitting in the left hand by the nostrils. Still turning forward. But man, is he Jackson almost looks like he's thinking about making a line.
Oh!
I would recommend it here.
1 car down to the inside wall down the back straightaway. I'm not sure who that was. It was a black car. Could have been really just about anybody.
Yeah, I thought it was Ramos.
I would guess
here.
it's that one. Yeah, Ramos hit that inside wall hard. A little bit of damage on that front bumper. Not going to take him out of it, though.
All right, we'll get a little bit closer here to number 27. See if he's, yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah, maybe there is no damage.
He'll be fine. Let's move back to Matt Crockett. He's unfortunately rolling back. That's why we're chasing him now. Hopefully he's going to be working his way up to the front. 15 machine diving down toward the bottom. That definitely seems to be, he's finding a little bit of success there through 3 and 4. What oddly enough you find is guys shifting back is through 1 and 2. They take the low side through 3 and 4. They ride that high side, but we'll definitely see if that is definitely the case here, as we've got Curtis Yancey is in some trouble.
Oh no, Yancey, broken toe link. Hard hit there. He's stuck on the banking.
Whoa. All right, guys, we'll move down on the volume on the track out there. Appreciate you guys with all the input out there. When we get to these short tracks, it definitely gets a little bit louder out there. These guys are screaming around there, especially when we get onto the cars. Now, earlier I was talking that Curtis Yancey not challenged. I'm wondering if he has challenged himself here and has taken himself out of the race, which is a bit unfortunate here. Does he get loose? Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Self-spin.
Like I was talking about earlier, Curtis Yancey is really fast. He's a smart driver. He's very aggressive. He knows how to get to the front. but when the car is a little loose, out of the corners, makes mistakes sometimes. We've seen it time and time again out of Curtis Yancey. Once you can figure out how to not do that, he's going to be in victory lane almost every other day, every other weekend.
I had a guy like this in another league. We'll see if he's tuned in. Ted Wreckage. That guy would drive the tires off the car. I mean, he could come from 25th at a hard track, come back and be third, but kill himself doing it. I mean, he'd burn the tires off. He just could not handle it. And it kind of rolls it back to the days of Thunder, as he can outdrive the car, he can outdrive the engine, he can outdrive the tires, but I can't get him to just do what the car is meant to do. And I think if somebody could figure out how to harness Curtis Yancey, this guy would be, he'd be deadly out here. I think we'd probably chuck him in there with the Cody Welch, the Nick Nickerson out there, and I think we'd see him podium positions just about every night, but he just has got to figure out how to settle down. I'm not saying we know it all here from the booth, but that 51 machine, I swear, every time we see this guy moving up, he has been really hauling it, though, and rolling up to the front. Marshall Crocker working his way back out of pit road again here, and he has been down pit road a few times here tonight. Excuse me, only a couple. He came down the one time early in the race, and might have an update on that, but currently he comes down here on lap number 72. As we come to just about our halfway point here of this race. Look at that note.
Out.
That was a blink by Marshall Crocker.
That was
not me.
I don't know. I didn't see any other cars on screen. Are we sure it was? No.
He's playing catch.
Yeah, Marshall Crocker Jr. Back on lead lap. He was 3 laps down. His car has no damage. He's on fresh tires. I expect to see him towards the front near the end of the race if he can make it there. Going green out of turn 4. Green flag is back out waving here once again. Mark and Bivens saw what Curtis Yancey's been doing on those high side restarts, took advantage of it as well, but he has Nick Nickerson on his front bumper. He's not going to, or on his rear bumper, not going to pull away quite like Curtis Yancey did. Just got to try to keep Nick behind him.
Talk about Josh McQuiggan here, sending it straight through the turn. What a wild ride he's taking. Currently giving a good hammer there to the backside of Ethan Sikorsky, who had a chance to win it during the playoffs and fumbled it. Right now, he gives him a huge shove through 3 and 4, goes ahead and moves him out of the way, but right now, Sikorsky's still leading in front of McQuiggan. McQuiggan has gained 12 here on the night, matching Chris Bassinger as one of our hardest chargers, who has really been on the move here. Currently, right now, it looks like Victor Weaver, in one of his highest positions here of the league, is currently sitting in 6th. As spotter didn't say you were clear there yet, buddy, as it gives them a little nudge. Right now, a couple of other guys are pushing their way up to the front. As I keep an eye there on Nickerson against Bivens. I think right now Nickerson is taking a dive here at the 76 Chevrolet. His Ford's going to back it up a little bit and try to attack him just one more time here in the next couple of turns.
Yeah, trying to make it work. He's on the bumper. He looks, contact down the back, or down the front straightaway. No cars went around. That was Ethan Sikorsky into the wall, as well as Matt Crockett. But either way, Nick Nickerson cannot find a way around Mark Allen Bivens. Oh, Keegan. A lot of cars blinking out here. I mean, lots of people in the grandstands, big grandstands, all sorts of features around the track, as well as all of these cars put in a tight area, and your computer has to render all these cars at the same time. So we're going to see a lot of cars blinking a lot more than we usually do.
Right now, hop on top of Bill Harkins' Geezer Authentics machine as he's chasing down Keegan Clark. Unfortunately, Bill Harkins is down a couple of laps here, so he's hoping for a couple of quick cautions to get a wave around there and get a go. Might have an option here. It looks like we've got a car up close to the wall. I'm hoping that is not Curtis Yancey or who in the world is that? I hope that is it. It looks like Harkins gets a good run there. Clark here in, Yancey up towards the top side. And Connor Gibson, that's the name I was looking for. Right now, the 31 machine up there struggling at tough race here so far. David Lakey has fought back in the 5th position, holding on tight. And Yancey McQuiggan still duking it out there toward the back, but it looks like Jackson Duke is now going to be in some trouble. Jackson Duke in the 08, you see him on the high side. I believe that's him in the Cheddar's machine as we go ahead and wave goodbye to Ethan Sikorsky without a caution.
Heavy damage to that front left of Ethan Sikorsky. Shouldn't bother the way his car handles too much, but either way, going to go way far behind the rest of the pack. Victor Weaver up to 7th. He did get up to 6th just for a moment, but now back down to 7th, battling with Benjamin Lacey and Joshua McQuiggan.
Interesting race here so far. Already a couple stumbles here on our stream here, as Mark Allen Bivens still holds on to the lead. Nickerson seems to have his number, though. Right now, he is all over his rear bumper. Bivens now playing heavy defense. And now sliding around, trying to see if he can find another angle here. Currently, Nickerson looking again. No dice. Dials it back. Still within a 10th of a second, though. He's holding on. Currently, I'm wondering if Mark Allen Bivens is running the line that he planned on running here tonight. Runs high through 3 and 4. This is more of what we expected. But I guess when you're out in the lead, clean air, you can start doing what you want to do. Nickerson, here's his chance through 3 and 4, and he's going to make the squeeze. Right now.
Oh, tries to throw a slider, can't quite make it there. Gonna lose the run off the corner, but still side by side down the front straightaway. Throws it again. Slide job for the lead out of turn number 4 or turn number 2. Crossover down the back straightaway. Mark takes it back. He's gonna throw it in just as much as Nick did, but can't quite make it there. Nick gonna clear off the high side, your new leader.
Boy, tough race here for the two guys up front. Nickerson battling off Mark Allen Bivens. Bivens trying to do the crossover to get him back, and just was unable to complete. Boy, great job here by these couple of drivers. Let's rotate back to Lacey. Lacey looked like he was getting ready to run down David Lakey. Lakey going to go ahead and hover high side, and looks like Eddie Haggy taking on Chris Bassinger. This is for the number 3 spot. Bassinger holds on to number 3 in his Ford, as we currently in the lead for Ford Chevy. For our top 4. David Lakey going in and solving it there with another Chevrolet as we continue this battle here on lap number 95. These laps are really chunking away pretty quick out here, as a couple of drivers have figured out where they need to be out here and whether their pit stops are going to last. Most guys did come down for 4 tires and fuel on lap number 58 with those pit crews out there, but a few of them are working their way back out. Von Berry and Ethan Sikorsky down there with heavy damage for the 94. So that is going to do it for Ethan Sikorsky's winning hope here, as we move back to our pole sitter of Marshall Crocker, who's now fighting for 10th and getting around the lap car of Bill Harkins.
Yeah, Bill Harkins had a real promising start to the day. A little bit of a push to Marshall Crocker Jr. there. But Bill Harkins had a very promising start to the day, but just fell apart with cautions, and now a couple laps down, trying to make his way back up. Now looking at Benjamin Lacey.
Let her rip, buddy. You're doing a great job.
Sorry. Now looking at Benjamin Lacey side by side with David Lakey. This is for 5th. Trying to make that happen on the bottom side, but David Lakey will not let him have it. As we talked about earlier, that groove on that high side just coming in more and more as we get through the night, especially as the tires start to wear down, but still fairly even on that bottom side. A little bit faster. He'll be able to make it work in a couple laps.
Speaking of making it work, check out Eddie Haggy. Not giving up on this bottom line here. He might be going for a 2-for-1. Hits Bassinger behind him, and now looking at Mark Allen Bivens right after that. Now Bivens is falling off something fierce. Taking a look at some of our different strategies out there. No difference. 4 tires and fuel for all these guys here, at least in the top 6, who came down on lap number 58. Nickerson has taken off by almost a 2-second gap over our leader of Mark Allen Bivens. Right now, Nickerson, I think the only thing that's going to slow him down is a caution, or starting to run into a bunch of lapped cars.
Yeah, once we get into lapped cars, it gets real difficult to pass here, especially the higher position those lapped cars are. Not an easy track to pass here, especially when the high side becomes the dominant lane. Have to throw a slider, and that doesn't always work. Currently getting around, this is for Well, this is for 8th. Victor Weaver made his way up to 8th. Michael R. Ramos trying to take it away from him. Crocker gets around Ramos. Now has his eyes set on Weaver as well.
All right, Marshall Crocker, after an odd pit strategy, has found his way back into the front. Currently, we are holding in the top 10. Nick Nickerson with the lead. Mark Allen Bivens, Chris Bassinger, Eddie Hagge, and Benjamin Lacey. Ford, Chevy, Ford, all the way back here until we run back into Curtis Yancey. Holds on to 6. David Lake is 7. Marshall Crocker with another quick blink there. Said he's 8. Now falls to 9. And Victor Weaver fights back, and he gets back into the 8th spot. And Michael Ramos currently holding in 10th. Take a peek way out there, just a little bit, about half a second back. We find our favorite number 81 Chevrolet of John Osborne and Keegan Clark, who has unfortunately greeted the wall a few times here tonight. The 74 Ford, he unfortunately dropped 3 positions, dropping him outside the top 10 from his original qualifying position. They've got a lot of work to do as Nick Nickerson leads this by 2 1/4 seconds.
No one seems to be able to catch up to Nickerson, no matter who is in front of Mark Allen Bivens. He just does not seem to be able to keep up, but still keeping it in second. There is a battle for second, though. Christopher Bassinger seems to be right on the bumper of Mark Allen Bivens, side by side out of turn number 2. It's down the back straightaway, still side by side. Mark Allen Bivens has been running that high side almost endlessly, not seeming to be able to make it work as Christopher Bassinger makes it work on the bottom. Does not throw a slider. He's going to clear off the corner almost. Puts in a pick of that 3 car. Gets around him.
Boy, they send it 3 wide there with a lap car, Matt Crockett, hanging out down there toward the bottom. You notice how Benjamin Lacey is starting to chase from behind. So the Film in the Wild car has gone ahead and put Eddie Hagge into the rearview mirror, as his battle with Mark Allen Bivens may have actually toasted those tires out. Not able to get enough grip, so Eddie Hagge going to have to drop back and bunt here, as currently Nickerson still continuing to put distance on this field. Right now, as we run back into Chris Fiera down a couple, I think only 1 lap here. He's fallen back, and boy, what a race here so far. Drivers shuffling all over the track as we try to find where exactly that Connor Gibson should land. I do believe he might be down a lap already, and he has fallen back. Right now, that does only leave us with the top 13 drivers. That does mean Jackson Duke is another driver that is a lap down. Right now, I'm wondering if Mark Allen Bivens, with his high line runs, has saved enough tire out there to go ahead and see if he can fend off Benjamin Lacey, because Lacey's now coming on high.
Yeah, Benjamin Lacey wants it. He saw the other cars in front of him get around him. He wants to try to make it work too. He feels he'll be able to do it. He looks high. Mark Allen Bivens goes low. Can have a big run off of turn number 4. That time by, he looks low, crosses him over down the front straightaway, throws it in. Not going to be able to make it that time by, but sticks on his left corner panel. Tries it again. Still side by side.
Right now we look out the side here of Mark Allen Bivens' car as currently Benjamin Lacey seesawing back and forth whether he's going to get him or not. I do believe Mark Allen Bivens able to push just a little bit harder coming out of 1 and 2 to see if he can escape Benjamin Lacey, and he does. Finally gets away from him here as we see Eddie Hagge gives a shove there to Benjamin Lacey. Lacey now back in the fight.
Helped him out of the corner. Lacey not giving up. Eddie Hagge also wants to move. Here comes Curtis Yancey. Curtis Yancey's not going to sit around and wait. He wants to make it happen.
Yeah, I guarantee you, Yancey back with that lap number 71 pit stop after his spin out. He's going to be looking to return back and with a vengeance. I expect Curtis Yancey to drive the tires off that car once again as he currently sits in 6th. Haggie's going to be his next on his list. But check our Mark Allen Bivens. This guy is not giving up, and he wants to hold on to places, but boy, is he doing just exactly what he needs to be doing. Slicing back and forth on this track, fending these guys off, and he is still holding on to 3rd respectably out there with a lot of hungry drivers looking to get around him.
Yeah, Benjamin Lacey is going to have to do something drastic to get around him. The last few times by, he thought about throwing a slider, but didn't quite commit. Runs a little bit up high, just right next to Mark Allen Bivens' door. Mark's going to run a little bit lower to keep him down there, but cannot quite do it. Benjamin Lacey holding him up high, trying to keep him up there while he goes back down to the bottom of the track to try to cross him out. Will he be able to do it that time, Brian? No, he's not. We now right on board with Eddie Haggy.
Yeah, Haggy looking forward, might be able to give a little extra help there to Mark Allen Bivens as Lacey does make the clear. We zoom on out here a little bit to see his battle with over 5 cars sitting in this clump. Currently, Benjamin Lacey's going to be able to escape.
Oh, 2 cars around.
10 bucks is Yancey.
Yeah, I believe that's Curtis Yancey.
Yep. Curtis Yancey sends it.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
He got tangled with Ethan Sikorsky. Ethan Sikorsky was going slow on that bottom lane. He got real close to him. Possibly a little bit of ungratefulness towards the 94 of Ethan Sikorsky.
All right. Well, Curtis Yancey getting a little hot-headed behind that steering wheel now. I think he's hoping maybe a caution will come out and help scrub Nickerson. Almost 5-second lead now, and maybe give these guys a chance to throw on some tires. Just a splash of fuel, not too much, but just enough to make it to the end and let these guys have at it. Let's move up to John Osborne, who's been quiet here tonight. Quiet, hardly to say, is our 15th place gain by the 81 Chevrolet as he goes ahead and puts David Leahy now behind him. Mark Allen Bivens will be next on his list, but he does have to make up about a second and a half here at this short track. Can it be done? Oh, of course, anything can be done in Bristol. We got tons of drivers out here. We got fast track. We got high banking. Heck, we've even filled this track with dirt. I mean, what are we gonna think of baseball?
Dirt Bristol. I love Dirt Bristol.
All right, let's move to Marshall Crocker, who sits 8th. And right now he's trying to see if he can knock Lakey back. Crocker way off from his original starting position now. I guarantee you Nickerson, this guy, I don't know. I don't know if Nickerson's just got a ton of luck here or what, but has this guy just hang back for a little bit, start outside the top 10, and then just absolutely smoke the field. That is crazy. There he goes. John Osborne taking over Mark Allen Bivens. That second and a half got chopped away pretty quick. Yeah, Bivens is praying for a caution here. He does not want to pit under green. Driver who did pit was Victor Weaver back there in the 18 Chevrolet. He's now going to have to get it comfortable down there in 16th. He came down and pit under green, so that definitely hurts his chances of top 5 here tonight. Let's move back to Crocker and see if Crocker's got anything left for us as Osborne is our guy on the move. Ooh.
Christopher Bassinger is losing on Nick Nickerson. Lacey is also losing, but we look at, we were looking at John Osborne a little bit ago. John Osborne has been gaining a little bit every lap. He's now got some cars in front of him, but when he's clear, he's gaining time on Nick Nickerson. He's not going to be able to make it there with 19 laps to go, but as you were talking about, Mark, possibly a couple other drivers might have to come down for fuel or possibly tires, but no one's going to want to do it during green flag conditions. I don't believe we've ever had a no green, white, checkered green flag finish here in the modern Bandit Racing League history. So always something to watch out for. It'd be real nice if we got a green flag finish here.
Yeah, no kidding. And I do want to point out a little bit here, John Osborne's success might be due to his crew chief out there. He has come down into pit 4 times here tonight and came and pit on lap number 71. Looked like it was possibly 6.48 down in the pit, so he may have taken tires one time and fuel the next to get back out there, but he is currently the one running the fastest out here on the track, at least with a 15.8. That's enough to be running only a 1/10 of a second behind Nick Nickerson. So currently, John Osborne not looking to go a lap down here, although we got a bunch of guys who are laps down. Unfortunately, it does look like only our top 11, I believe, Yancey, maybe our next guy under fire from Nickerson as he sits right behind him. Yep, here he comes into the screen. Boy, that's going to be close.
And we know full well Yancey's not just going to let him by. He's going to put up a fight. Caution! Flag is out. Curtis Yancey is saved. Matt Crockett is sideways on the banking.
Holy cow, what a lifesaver this was for Mark Allen Bivens.
Definitely needed that.
Wow. Yep. Well, that's going to work out for the old bivouac out there. He says he's going to have to bivouac somebody at this track. So he's still looking for his number out there. Ethan Sikorsky coming back down in the pit road there for a moment. Let's take a look. Whoop. John. No. Now hopefully he'll come down and be able to fix that. Yep, and he is coming down pit. I don't blame him. John Osborne with his chance. Now, what question here? What got Lacey so close to him off that turn? I mean, was Crockett coming down, or what we got here?
Benjamin Lacey goes low, stays a little bit middle. Matt Crockett comes down just a little bit. Well, they meet in the middle. Matt Crockett's a little bit low, and
all right, RC, good luck with this one. Maybe able to find one more shot here. Let's see if I can find something a little closer. No, that's not dead on.
I think Matt Crockett might have gotten a little bit loose, but not that we could really see. That possibly is what made him stay a little bit low off corner exit, just trying to bring it back together.
That's wild, isn't it?
It's wild.
Jack up. Make this look better. There we go. Fantastic. Wow. What a race here so far. All right, so you said no green, white checkers. Good job. You called it. Commentator's curse.
Yeah.
You did it. All right, so Nick Nickerson is going to have to run for his life here because Eddie Haggy wants to win this one. Grandma in the car is going to be taking the bottom lane here. Lakey takes high side, and Haggy playing chase.
Yeah, green flag is back out. Eddie Haggy and David Lakey side by side. Eddie Haggy's backing up the corners on the inside a lot more than David. Now looks high. Mark Allen Bivens looks low. Contact to the rear bumper of Eddie Haggy. He goes around. He's going to be able to collect it. No, he won't. Help from Michael R. Ramos sends him the full way around. Michael goes around.
No caution.
No caution. That was not what we wanted to see.
Somebody looking to hit that little red button up there to start buzzing RC. We got drivers around, drivers wrecked out here. Chris Vieira down now. And Bivens.
Oh, there goes Weaver. Weaver goes around into pit road. Almost into pit road.
What is going on here? Oh, boy. All right. You know, every time I bring this up, I get in trouble. So we're not going to say anything about no caution being thrown. We're just going to have to keep rolling on.
Yep.
Boy, what an absolute heartbreaker there.
But we take a look at David Lakey. He was gaining just a little bit that past lap. He lost a lot of time when he was side by side. No, now losing time once again. 3 laps to go. Will anyone have anything for Nick Nickerson? They need a caution.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Nickerson's going to lead out there pretty far. And hopefully Aggie is not doing what I think he's doing and he's just racing the race. See, Aggie
I don't think Eddie would do any.
Well, no, Haggie's better than that. So, I think he's going to get a little frustrated here. Man. Ugh. Well, we'll look at it here as the final lap does come out. Thank you, Apex Racing, for going ahead and sponsoring our last lap as Nick Nickerson is going to bring it across the line here. And John Osborne fights up to 4th. Great job.
David Lakey 2nd, Mark Allen Bivens in 3rd.
Yeah, Matt Bailey out there not happy to see, not seeing the caution come out either. I know they don't try not to interfere as much. But that was, you know what? We're going to do it. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I want to take a look at this. I'm that guy. We're going to try to break this one down and see what happens here. Because Haggie's working on it. Cuts in. And then clips him right there.
Yeah, he didn't get loose off the push. He only got loose the fact that it gave him a little bit of speed. And then into the corner, he then got loose about a half second later just because he was carrying too much speed from the bump.
Yeah, it just loosened him up right there. Just sent him the rest of the way around.
It's the wall. Got it collected, but tried to get back on the gas while the tires were still hot. Went around a second time. Got collected by Michael Ramos. Fiera also goes around.
Yep.
Because why not?
I would say the second spin there to the inside, that may have been trying to get the caution flag, seeing we were sideways and did not gather that one. Boy. All right. Check that out. He's already in it. Yes. Nickerson looks like he's been here before.
I believe he has.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. Let's go ahead and get our unofficial results up here. Let's see if we can get that going. Boop. Yes, there we go. All right, Nickerson winning by 1.4 seconds. Haggie did end up going a lap down. Once again, SimTrax Broadcasting does apologize to you guys for the little chunking that we had at the beginning of the race. We were able to figure it out and get it undone there. It was just a process of elimination to figure out who was at fault. And our post-race results brought to you by LAT Racing Oils and the Magothy Consulting 150 comes to an end with Nick Nickerson as our winner. David Lakey and Mark Allen Bivens waiting down in pit road. We're going to catch up with them here in just a moment, and we'll go ahead and talk to them here a little bit about tonight's race and see if this is exactly what they expected. We'll be right on back.
Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne, along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
Alrighty, everybody. We are finally going ahead and collected everybody up here. Tons of drivers have got it, and Jackson Knock has run down Mark Allen Bivens, our third place finisher here tonight.
Mark, you were fast all day. probably gonna finish in a podium. A little bit of issues there with Eddie Haggy at the end there. Run me through that. Tell me about how that happened. Just generally how that race was for you.
The race was definitely a dogfight the whole time. I'm definitely surprised we finished where we did. Just on that one restart, whenever we lagged out and I got pushed back all the way out at 10th, and I was stuck in the hornet's nest and had to claw my way back up. Had a slow car that probably shouldn't have been up there in the first place, put me in the wall and about wrecked me, and that gave me some damage, but didn't give me much. Able to claw my way back to the lead, and we were able to find a third place finish. We had some help from Curtis losing a bit of talent there, but I mean after Nick was behind me, just putting the pressure. I mean, I just burned up my stuff. Just a hard fought race. Don't really get to run Bristol much, especially with these cars. So that was a challenge in itself. So I'm glad we were able to finish where we did. I'm definitely surprised, but good run for the points, so I'll take it.
Yeah, you were in second place the majority of the day, and it just seemed like no matter who was in front of you, they just happened to be the fastest person on the track, but not when they were behind you. So it was definitely some weird circumstances that played out today. Some odd circumstances, but you got up to third, and it was real fast. Got any shout outs you can get out there for us?
Yeah, just like shout out everybody that helps me. Like shout out all y'all guys for doing this broadcast. Everybody in the league. Eddie, I'm sorry I got into you. I swear I didn't mean to. I thought we were long clear of each other. I already sent him a text, but yeah, I'd like to give my condolences to Eddie and his entire family on his loss, and I guess just everybody that helps put these things on every week. I'm happy to run here, and hopefully we can go chase a championship by the end of this year.
All right, well, thank you for coming out, and we will see you next week.
All right, see y'all. Oh, one more thing. I hate this car.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I hate it.
All right. Well, hopefully, maybe it'll change next season in season 15. All right. Hang in there, Mark, and we'll see if you got anything for us here, because playoffs are coming up here pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna see what we can throw on them.
Good luck. All right, Mark Allen Bivens, boy, what a race he had. And talk about a guy we normally don't get to talk to a whole lot. He's got hot times, he's got cold times, but he finally came out on top this time. Sitting in that number 2 spot goes to David Lakey's number 84 Chevrolet, the Zero Foxtrot machine. David, long time no see, buddy.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, a minute, buddy. I thought I was going to turn 38, 39, 50. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. Boy, talk to me about this race. What was the key to success here tonight?
Don't get wrecked. Just, I don't know. It's Bristol's a crapshoot. Save your tires as best you can, but try to stay fast and minimize the mistakes. That's about it.
Minimize mistakes. There were tons of mistakes here tonight. Our pole sitter ended up in some trouble tonight. Some of our guys who were really fast out there, Eddie Haggy, you see right here toward the end, got in some trouble. I mean, Ethan Sikorsky ended up getting wrecked up a little bit out there. I mean, I've just got to wonder, when I take a look here from the broadcast booth, and I know some of our viewers out there are a little banging their head on the ground because we were a little choppy there at the beginning, and a little being very sarcastic, that how in the world do you find a safe spot at Bristol not to end up dying here toward the end?
I don't want to say you get lucky. You just gotta find your groove, and you gotta realize when there's faster guys behind you, you either gotta let them go or you're gonna fight them. And I'd rather finish the race. So there's a couple times during the race I just let some guys go, and there's a couple guys that I fought for a little bit longer, and then they would give up. The guys I felt comfortable around, I would race. But guys that I knew could probably make a mistake and end my race, just try to stay away from them. But we did have one good, really long run that was very enjoyable.
Yes, it always is, because then you find out who burned their tires up or not. And I would say Mark Allen Bivens, I think, may have been dead meat out there if another caution didn't come out. But this definitely gave you a chance to reach out and grab a hold of Nick Nickerson and cut away that 5-second lead. So, give and take a little bit here. Texas Motor Speedway next. David. How do we feel about that?
Texas is a pretty good track. I like it. Another one where you got to save tires. You got to be careful in the. I don't know. I guess they call it the cookie cutter. A lot of guys, if you get pushed wide, you can end up in the wall there. So another one where you just got to mind your P's and Q's and know who's around you and know when to push and know when to save.
But turn 1 and 2 doesn't seem to be a concern for you.
No, we'll be all right.
Cool. All right, David, go ahead and give me a shout out here, buddy.
Well, as always, shout out to my team, Michael, Connor, Curtis. A couple of them had unfortunate incidents, but they'll bounce back. Shout out to my mom for watching. She always watches. Great supporter of the league. And I want to send a shout out to Eddie. I know this race was a memorial race for one of his loved ones that he lost. I want to say we're thinking about you, buddy, and I hope you get through this time. But I know, shout out to you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast. And Jackson, it's good to talk to you, buddy. Even though I heard your voice yet, we miss you. Miss you on the track.
Well, thank you, man. I hopefully next season. I every time, I really love being up in the booth, but every time I watch a race, I'm always thinking, man, it would be fun to be down there with you guys again. So hopefully next season.
You should make an appearance for the super speedways, man. I miss those close finishes we always have.
Uh-oh.
Those are very fun.
Draft partner. Uh-oh. All righty, David. And Patsy Steele says, awesome job, son. All right. Good luck, buddy, and we'll get you ready for Texas.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep. All right. We'll send him back down there with Mark Allen Bivens as he hashes it out with the man, the myth, the legend, Nick Nickerson. Comes away with yet another race win. Looks like the big red propane machine can somehow seem to find that winner's circle almost at will here. Nick, talk to me about this race and how much did that last caution upset you?
I mean, not really. Didn't really upset me. I mean, it's you kind of expect stuff like that to happen. I was like, there's no way we're gonna go, 100 plus laps under green, but we almost did. But I was expecting it, and to be honest, like, it doesn't really bother me at that point because I knew that there'd be enough cars, like lap down cars, in between me and second place. I think I had like almost a 6-second lead at that point from second place. That there'd be a few cars in between to kind of give me that buffer in pit lane, so to give me a better shot of coming out in first place on the restart, which is how everything worked out. It got tires, got 4 tires, came out, was able to take the outside line, and there was just no way anybody was going to be able to pass me. It was so difficult to pass on the inside that, like, especially if somebody that had enough speed that can hold the outside, there was just no passing, especially not within 5 laps. So feel like pretty early on I had one wrapped up there unless something catastrophic happens. But all in all, good race for GFR boys.
Well, you did an awesome job out there for GFR. Seeing that Kevin, I believe, currently is with his brother Gabe at the hospital currently.
Yep.
And so quick shout out for his brother out there. And so talk to me about how, when you're a man down, does it seem to affect you guys?
Not really. Yeah, not really, man. I mean, maybe other than like it just thins out the amount of cars that are at a short track like Bristol, and maybe kind of helps in a way. But because the more cars, the more chaotic it is. But it seemed like we were a little thin tonight. But yeah, man, it's just every car for them. When it comes to short track racing, it's every car for themselves. If this is Talladega or something, that would be a different story. Be like, yeah, you're down a teammate, then that kind of sucks. But not on short tracks.
Yeah, and a lot of guys do try to line up those teams, push crews, things like that, and try to do something. But I swear that front guy gets in a wreck, the rest of y'all are involved too, and it's trying to. It could be a one for all situation there. Tons of definitely some rough racing. You started outside the top 10 tonight. Is this something that you expected, and is this going to follow into Texas next week? With a kind of a low qualifying and then try to come away with a win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's Texas is kind of a bruiser on the tires, so we'll just have to see if I can figure it out quick enough. Bristol here, my qualifying lap here just sucked. Like you basically only had one shot on the second lap, and I slid it going into 1 and 2, so that's why I was 3 or 4 tenths off the pace there. But I still felt pretty quick right off the bat. I knew I was going to get up to the front at some point, but it was definitely hard going, just trying to get past everybody. And I kept getting restarts on the inside, which the guy on the outside would sling around, and it was a little frustrating at the beginning, but eventually we got up there. But for next week, Texas, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I feel like it'll be pretty good there. It's just that turn 1 and 2 is very difficult to get down perfectly with speed and tire saving. That I don't know. Traditionally, I'm not very good at Texas, but we'll see. Give her our best shot.
All right, buddy. Go and give me shout-outs here.
Yeah, man. So first off, old David Lakey for getting second place. That's pretty awesome. And first, also Kevin and his brother. Obviously, we know about the hospital issue, so hoping the best for him and his family. Good old Big Red, IES Industrial XL Auto Parts, Advanced Auto Parts, VIP class. Let's see. Even though Bill's not technically the league owner, but all the stuff he does in the background, including with the stuff that Kevin and Ben do to keep this league going, and everybody that participates, man, it's a blast racing these week in, week out, and I appreciate you guys putting on the broadcast. Were you solo today? I haven't looked at the broadcast.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no?
No, the Knoxville's here.
Oh,
I
yeah,
try to
okay.
be here as much as I can.
Cool. I just haven't looked at the broadcast yet, but
He took over the first half.
Did it? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Awesome.
And
All right.
I guess my last shout out too. I guess this race is sponsored by Eddie. I'm guessing that's one of his family members, Elaine
Yes.
Susan Kearns.
Yep. His grandmother
Let's give a shout out.
has moved on.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
say to the
unfortunate,
easier
but
life.
yeah,
Awesome.
man. Yeah, man.
All right, Nick, I won't hold you up, buddy. The number 2 Ford Big Red propane machine wins yet again. Congratulations, buddy, and you got a little bit of work to do to run down our points leader. You might be able to do
right.
it here right at the end. I guess you want to try the come from behind win to challenge yourself, huh?
Yeah, right. Maybe I'll try it again next week. We'll see. Hopefully
There
not.
you go. Well, I might have to give a little phone call out there to Cody Welch to come out there and give you some problems.
That's right.
Nick, good
Haven't
luck to
seen
you,
him in a
buddy.
while. Appreciate it, man. Take care.
You too. All right, Nat Jackson, what a race here, buddy. That was definitely wild. Do want to give a shout out here to Miss Ellen Kearns out there who was gone ahead and left us here, and we're kind of waiting for us on the other side. Hate to see for Eddie Haggie's loss, but it definitely is a fact of life out there, especially the fact that Nick Nickerson, David Lakey, and Mark Allen Bibbins are going to be our top 3. Well, definitely a wild race, as Eddie Haggie unfortunately did finish down in the 12th spot. But, hey, even look, Michael Ramos finished in 9th. An awesome job he did. Jackson, anything left to add here, buddy?
Yeah, we saw a lot better racing here today than I thought we were gonna. Talking to my dad earlier, he was wanted to put a bet on how many cautions there would be tonight. I was like, maybe 14 or 15, but I believe there was only 5 or 6 at the most. So really not all that bad. We saw a real big, almost 100 lap green flag run. So a lot of fun watching today, and I'm excited for Texas next week.
Yep, only 6 cautions, so not bad. Texas should be a great run. We'll definitely have the stream up for you guys, and good Lord, I hope it's better than the start of this one. I appreciate you guys once again. I saw over 30 of you guys waiting on us. Appreciate you guys hanging in there and trying to give it our best here at Simtrax Broadcasting. But that should do it for us here with the Bandit Racing League. See you guys in Texas. Be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see you all there.